Good evening, Asia, and good morning, Europe. Welcome from the bottom of my heart to this Global Consciousness Day today, which is a very auspicious day in our regions, where we have the winter solstice, which means that from today on, the days will become longer again. So that's a beautiful symbol for a moment, for the present moment, where we will do our best today to bring more light into the life of everyone who is participating and bring more light also into the future of humanity. This is our goal today, to just give a humble contribution to the development of the consciousness of people on this planet and also to the good fortune. So that today we have wonderful guests with us from all over the planet. I'd like to welcome very much those who are with me here today, and maybe we can see them a little bigger. First of all, I'd like to welcome Dr. Chinmay Pandya. He is right now in India. You recognize him immediately from the bright colors. And he is a Pro-Vice Chancellor of the Desh Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, which is a beautiful university at the feet of the Himalayas in northern India, where I have spent some time, and it's like family. So the Desh Sanskriti University today is also our partner for this wonderful event. We see you later, Chinmay, and yeah. I'm happy you're here. Then we have from the other side of the planet, Michael Curley, who is a good friend. He's a scientist by his training, but he's also a very spiritual person, spiritual leader, and a spiritual healer. So welcome, Michael, to be here with us. And we will see you, especially in the end, where we will guide all of us into a collective meditation. So that's really the plan for today. We will spend almost an hour now, from now on, talking, and not only talking, speaking about the different aspects of consciousness and how development of consciousness can contribute to what we experience on this planet. But in the end, we want to become practical, and we will become practical. So at 11 o'clock in the evening, at 11 o'clock, it's in the evening for you, but for us, it's still the morning. At 11 o'clock, our time, it's in almost an hour, we will start with a guided meditation. And we will then, maybe after 10 minutes of a guided meditation, we have all together the opportunity to do a collective meditation where everyone, according to his own way, according to his own desire, can participate by just being in stillness, or by meditation, or by prayer, or by blessings, or by just being there. That's already enough present, so that we can connect together and also to source. So that's the plan today. And here with us is also Christian Halper, who maybe still has some technical problems to be present with picture and sound, but this will be soon solved. And I will introduce Christian a little later. So now, here, Christian is there. Servus to everybody, but I cannot hear anybody. To Vienna, but still the sound is not there. Doesn't matter. So, and last but not least, and the first who I will talk with is Professor Jan Rák, a very good friend from Prague, but he's very international. Hello. He is a professor in Finland, and he's working also at the CERN particle accelerator in Switzerland, which is one of the leading institutes of the basic or ground research in physics. And I would like to start with Jan, little talking about how science and consciousness meet. So I have prepared, I want to talk about maybe 2 or 3 topics with you. So the first question Jan, which I would like to ask to you is, what is consciousness from the perspective of science?
Thank you, Marcus, for invitation. Right. So consciousness is a very tough question for scientists, I think. And quite recently, I think I changed my angle of view on the consciousness because, as you all may all know, my good kind of, I was always impressed by the work of Roger Penrose,
who just got the Nobel Prize this year, isn't it?
Right, exactly. And he got a Nobel Prize very recently. And he has a theory on how the quantum physics can kind of give rise of the consciousness in the brain of human species. So I think he has this theory of the microtubuli and so on, where the collapse of the wave functions, kind of orchestrated collapse, can lead to the consciousness. But to my opinion, I spent some time in the Dunkeltherapy, this dark meditation of 1 week in the darkness, and all this kind of experience led me to the conclusion that scientifically it's probably impossible to define or somehow to describe what the consciousness is, because all what we see around, all the objects where the world is compound of, are the experience of consciousness, right? There is nothing else than consciousness, to my opinion. And in that way, somehow, if you say what the consciousness is, and obviously the scientists are having a great debate on what the consciousness, how to define it, right? But whatever you do, you will find that if you say consciousness or awareness, or the consciousness is something that can experience itself, you will always see that you are speaking about the same subject. You are kind of in this tautology cycle that you cannot get out, because everything what is around is consciousness. It's kind of the sensoric perceptions, including also abstract ideas and everything. So, to my opinion, we have to give up somehow as a scientist, kind of the tendency to try to define the consciousness as some object which is studied by conscious being, So, and in that way, I think that the future of science, to my opinion, is that if we understand, right, that everything and what we see, the world around us, all what we experience is the product, so to speak, of consciousness, then we can somehow build, or we can enter into a new era of science, which is my dream, where kind of the spiritual aspect of the outer world is kind of combined with the inner kind of spiritual, kind of the spiritual aspect with the kind of physical aspect of the world is unified. Because what we learn so far is that the crisis around is always due to the duality, splitting, that I have the truth, somebody else is wrong. There is the outer world. I'm observing that, and even the quantum physics itself taught us that there is no way to split the observer and the object of observation, right? So my dream is kind of that the future science will be unified in the physical and spiritual.
Oh, Jan just disappeared. We hope he will be coming back very soon. But what Jan was addressing here, it's a very, very... Oh, Jan, you are back. What what Professor Raag was addressing here is that he tries to unify the concept of science and spirituality. Science is about the material world, and spirituality is about consciousness. And he was speaking. Jan, are you back?
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to. I really liked your contribution until now, because you made a very strong point about the duality of matter and consciousness. And nowadays we have the duality in our society of science on the one side and spirituality on the other side. And you were speaking about your dream that science and spirituality will join and will understand that matter and consciousness, or being and spirit, are ultimately the same. Did I understand you right?
Yes, absolutely right. It's to my opinion, it's even kind of very logical, even scientifically logical, right? What we did at CERN, for example, right? We built the biggest possible, what can imagine, machine to study the smallest details of matter. And what we found, and I mean, quantum physics told us that already many years ago, that in the deepness, kind of in the deep roots of the matter, there is also nothing, right? Just the potential of something which interacts with the human mind, or with the observer mind. I don't want to speak only about humans, right? Because any living observer is an observer, right? And the potential, which has no physical properties, in a sense that it's not a matter. There are no particles, right? That interacts with your mind, with the consciousness in a way, it creates some kind of information, right? So even the modern science tells us that there is no matter, in a sense, in the classical view, as we are kind of usually perceiving the reality, right? So
yes.
The building block of reality is kind of so only information, not atoms, right? Not molecules, right? These are information, and this is nothing kind of heretics, right? So it's a standard view of modern physicists also.
Yes, you were using the word "there's nothing." If you look deeper into matter, there you find nothing. But this means that this nothing must be something. So probably the concept of nothing, or the concept of negation, which we're having, the negation of being, directly leads into the world of consciousness. So we don't have so much time to talk about science today, but the last question, another question is, but we still can distinguish our human consciousness from, for example, the chair on which I'm sitting. That's quite possible. So, and if I come into a difficult situation, like my head bangs against the wall, I might even lose my consciousness. So this human consciousness, which we are expressing every day, from the perspective of science, can it make a difference in this world? I know my consciousness can make a difference in my life. I can, even changing my consciousness, I'm changing biochemistry within my body. There's all these psychosomatic effects. But can our consciousness, for example, if we form a collective consciousness, change something more beyond my own body and my own situation? So that's really a question which is behind this day also. Can we make a difference? What do you think?
Right. Look, to my opinion, once the real scientists, I mean the normal scientists, will realize, right, that everything is just, so in quotation mark, just a consciousness, right? I think it will make a so big impact exactly along the line as you are speaking, our consciousness. But look, I think one has also to be slightly more careful to distinguish on what we are speaking, So to my opinion, this what the Buddhists are also saying, that the consciousness is the emptiness without any content and without any form, right? And I think this is a fantastic view, that the real kind of consciousness is this emptiness, and the quantum physics sees this as well, right? And then what we see, you said that whether your chair has also some consciousness. So I think this is what we are observing outside, so to speak, outside is these are our thoughts. This is a mind, right? So this is the thinking process, right? So, and the thinking, the mind is also consciousness, obviously. Everything is just coming from the consciousness. But in my view, the consciousness is that kind of the universal observer, which is looking through our eyes, and this is just the one observer, and the mind, the thoughts are creating this illusionary view of myself as a separated being from everything else, right? And the question you posed is, to my opinion, by realization that everything is just one consciousness, right? And there is a mind which is creating kind of through the quantum process, let's say, of creating information from the kind of this quantum potential and, whatever. And you can see that obviously this kind of dream, right, it's not something which is independent from us and going on somehow, that there are some random events around. But if you realize that this is everything what as an end effect of your thoughts, of your mind, of your, on the way how you think, that this is the process how you are creating the reality around you, then I think this is obviously also the way. If you realize that, if people will realize that, then they will also find that they are the way how to heal all kind of problems around by your inner peace, right? So you can change the world if you change yourself, right?
Yes. No, thank you. That's very encouraging for the purpose of our gathering today, that by our collective consciousness, not just 5 of us who are here, but all those who are participating, and also those who are participating tonight, which will be a wonderful group also, we can really make a difference in this world, not only by what we say, but also especially of what we are. And when I listened to you, I saw that this scientific view has a lot of parallelity to the Eastern spirituality. And this is a very good moment to introduce or to welcome our next speaker. Thank you, Jan, very much for your contribution, and we will follow this up, because actually I didn't mention the organizer of this Global Consciousness Day is the Existential Consciousness Research Institute, which is a part of our Conscience Association, which is a non-profit organization and exists since 1996 and doing research on science and consciousnness since many years. It also has the Institute of Applied Consciousness Research. So within this institute, we will continue to discuss what we have started now in forms of seminars, which we will announce after this Global Consciousness Day. So again, Jan, thank you very much. And I'd like to basically continue exactly here with Chinmay, Dr. Chinmay Pandya, who is with us today from India at the Dev-Sanskriti University, which is a beautiful spot from where you can see the small mountains in the beginning of the Himalayas, and just being there is an upliftment of consciousness. So Chinmay, what do you think has to happen within our consciousness so that we create a better future?
Wonderful question, Marcus, and such a delight to be here, first of all. With you, we have had such a long and strong and affectionate bond. So to be here and to discuss about these pertinent themes is like a matter of delight to me. So my pranams and respect to all of you from India. I was listening to Professor Jan, and I think I will just take it from there to answer your question, because one of the reasons why I think this kind of dichotomy continues to exist between science and spirituality is because we are probably trying to define both of them wrong. Because the answer to the question, like Professor Jan was saying earlier, thousands of years ago when Vedas were being written, Rigved was being written, then one of the Rishi, Parmeshti, he had the similar kind of question that, what is it? Where people are coming, where they are going? And he wrote a very beautiful sukta called a Nasadiya sukta. It starts with Nasada Sino Sada Sitadani Nasid Rajona Vyoma Paroyat. Kimavari Vahakuvasha Sharmanambha Kimasi Gahanam Gaviram. Meaning that in the beginning there was nothing but the nothing, and nothing was wrapped within the nothing, and from nothing came the everything. So, like, just the concept of the Einstein of matter and energy being interchangeable, it was the same thing that then subsequent following of the Upanishads talked about, that Eko Deva Sarva Bhuteshu Goda Sarva Vyapi Sarva Bhutantaratma, that there is only one consciousness which is shining through each of us. It is being manifested through you as Marcus, and it is being manifested through me as Chinmay. But essentially we are interchangeable. Like, it came from the same consciousness, which gave birth to the concept of Advaita Vedanta, that there is no other consciousness. Dvaita means duality, means no. That basically there is no other consciousness, there is only one. And having an understanding that I am only one facet into this big cosmic dance actually brings a much better consciousness, because the moment the separation is gone, the primary sin, original sin, as per the Advaita Vedanta or Vedantic understanding, is that I created a boundary for myself. Moment I created a boundary for myself, I created a boundary for you. Moment this belongs to me, that belongs to you. And that kind of division, that kind of differentiation, that kind of strife and conflict, that would only bring problems that we are seeing in the today's world, whether it is terrorism, whether it is the problems like war and conflict, whether it is individual differences, whether it is personal or familial challenges, they all come from the fundamental problem of I try to suffice my ego. Bigger the ego, bigger the conflict. And if we go back to the Upanishadic tradition, then a beautiful saying comes, which is Ayam Nijaha Paroveti Ganana Lagu Chetasam, written 5,000 years ago. Ayam Nijaha Paroveti, Ayam Nijaha, this is mine. Paroveti, that is yours. Ganana Lagu Chetasam, that is a feeling of the small people. Narrow-minded people can think like that. Children can fight for the toys. Udara Charita Namtu, those who have got big hearts, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, there is only one consciousness. We belong to one family. So the moment that kind of shift takes place, when I am only a manifestation of a higher and bigger plan, whether we call that a divine consciousness or one consciousness, whether we call it a scientific or a spiritual consciousness, makes no difference. There is only one. And we are all the manifestations. That's why I think Gurudev called this organization, our organization, as Thought Transformation Movement. He named it that you need to change your consciousness and transform the way you think. And that is the idea behind Eastern wisdom traditions. And I belong the same in the scientific flow of the understanding too.
Thank you. Yes, I see you're sitting in front of so many spiritual books, and I feel the power of this old spiritual tradition, which you are presenting as a spiritual leader of a spiritual movement which comes from India. So we have people from Australia here, from Europe, from India, and we will also have a guest who's comes from China and one from Tibet. So I believe, listening to everyone, we get the same spiritual message. So in your tradition, what are you doing for the upliftment of the consciousness? Could you give us an example which we can participate in?
So the essential premise of this organization that Gurudev called as the Gayatri Parivar is based on two things: self-embellishment, like changing myself or transforming myself, and social upliftment, making society a good place to live. So either I become a good person, or then I help in making society a good place to live. And now the organization has about 150 million members and 5,000 centers all over the world. Even the headquarters, where, like you have been on many times, we have got capacity to accommodate 15 to 20,000 people. And it's like a sustainable kind of eco society where everything works on individual participation to social participation and community involvement. What we can do is, first of all, actually to change the way we think. We need to think not about supplementing my ego, but actually making the community a better place. The moment it changes from I to other, first actually change takes place at that particular moment. And the essential idea of this society to survive actually came from the fact that what we are teaching at the moment is only people to feed their own needs and requirements without even thinking how that's going to affect the other. So whether we see that kind of thinking affecting the environment or nature or cosmos or Prakriti in the form of pollution to climate change to global warming, it is coming from the fact that it all became centered to my needs. I never thought that how that's going to affect the other person. And the idea of environmental sustainability to community participation comes from this shift in the consciousness of replacing I with the welfare of others. And then also what it involves is in the essential practice of the Gayatri mantra, which requires three things. One is the purity. So purity of the thoughts, and that does not require a bigger definition. That requires only one thing, that I being good in my heart and doing the things with noble intentions. That's why the people like Gandhi and Kagaba and Mandela and Saint Francis de Assisi, they are representative of the pure consciousness, no matter which part of the world they are born into. So purity of the mind. And prakharata. Prakharata means radiance of the thoughts, always thinking positive, doing something good for the society with good intentions. And parishkar, which means embellishment, like, every day working for releasing a better version of myself into the world. So today I should be a better edition of what I was yesterday. And that is the idea that Gurudev gave, that har din naya jan, har raat nahi maut, that you have got only one day to live. Think like that this is the only day that I have got. And if I have got only one day to live, how would I like to live this day? It starts from the morning and it goes into the night. And then 12 hours, whatever I have got in this 24 hours, then I should use it for absolute perfection. And I hope that a simple sadhana trick like that would help people to change the way they think. And I'm sure that everyone is capable of doing it. They just need the right moment to make that kind of shift. Maybe today is the moment.
Thank you, Chinmay. So every day is a Global Consciousness Day.
Exactly.
So this day is just an example for how we can carry on. Thank you so much, Chinmay. And happy that you are here with us. And yes, thank you. So now we are going from India to China, which is not a long way. It's just crossing over the Himalaya, isn't it? So it's very, very, very close to you. And this is two ancient spiritual traditions. I would say it's the two oldest spiritual traditions we have on this planet. And both have a continuity of their spirituality. And that's so amazing about it. And the next contribution is from a grandmaster of the Taoist tradition, which nowadays is very much linked to the Buddhist tradition. His name is Master Blinding Truth. I got to know him through Michael. And Michael, do you want to just say a few sentences about Master Blinding Truth? Just half a minute to introduce him.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you? Okay. Yeah, he, Master Blinding Truth, he is one of the Council of 12 in China who advise at all levels of government and international affairs. And his tradition is such that he has evolved to be capable of using the I Ching and the Bazi astrology, as well as his predictions with his own spiritual insights, to very much pinpoint what's happening in the higher dimensions of consciousness, and in that way perceive what course of action is required to take to avoid certain issues and problems. So he's highly sought after with all governments, large organizations, and he's currently trying to open up as many Taoist temples throughout China as possible, as part of his major process of what he's trying to achieve to spread people's understanding of spirituality in China.
Yes.
So he has a large influence. Yes.
Through you, I met Master Blinding Truth, and I got a great example of his abilities. So today, because time is short, and he's not speaking English, therefore he made, especially for this event, and he prepared a blessing in an ancient Chinese language, because he believes, like Chinmay is very deeply rooted in the Sanskrit language and was quoting some Sanskrit verses today. Master Blinding Truth is speaking first in ancient Sanskrit. It will be only 1.5 minutes, and then we will hear the English translation of it, which is done by Hong, the wife of Michael. So let's start this contribution, please.
祈请颂，弟子明慧，至心祈请，慈悲咒心，普化本源，常寂光土，结界同玄，光明天心，净化法源，普照内外，法界同卷，智慧地心，普化众缘，厚德载物，世界同愿，善良人心，文化有缘，相互善待，人间同见，生存有志，健康奉献，生活美好，家和国安，生命自由，心物一元，三生有幸，幸福人间，天下和谐，和平宝典，感恩道德随处划现，感恩天尊护持人间，万物万众和睦和善，共生共享，共度共勉，感恩有你，祈请指南，福生无量天尊，福生无量天尊，福生无量天尊，敬畏感恩。
As humble disciples of the cosmic wisdom, from the greatest depth of our heart, we make this decree. We call upon the cosmic authority to be present in all humanity on this glorious day. With our all-seeing eyes and infinite fertile hearts, we gracefully receive the blessings of the cosmic love, wisdom, and power. Permeate and enfold our mind, emotions, subtle energy, and physical bodies. We anchor all beings within the conscious heart of love, wisdom, compassion, and creative power. We give thanks to the supreme cosmic intelligence that coheres and magnetizes, transmutes and transcends, evolves and enlightens, that holds planets in orbit and weaves atomic layers into our quantum physical world. We give thanks to our exquisite Earth Mother for supporting and sustaining our lives from the beginningless time and forever. We give thanks to the great kindness and supreme mercy of the cosmic heart for lightening up our spiritual path to the ultimate source. We give thanks to the cosmic authority of the universe, the great Tao, for radiating the gamma light of the supreme intelligence to every corner of the earth across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. We give thanks to the light from the heart of the cosmos, illuminating the heart of our earth, purifying, cleansing, and transforming all cosmic laws to its highest frequency for the highest good of all sentient beings. We give thanks to the divine cosmic light that penetrates into our spiritual and existential worlds, uniting all religious disciplines under the same law of kindness. We give thanks to the divine cosmic love that infuses the heart of the earth with the highest frequency of wisdom and instantly dissolves all ignorance of mindless seeking. We give thanks for the unlimited opportunities for humanity to create abundance of merits and charities. We give thanks for every sentient being everywhere to experience the transmutational power of unconditional love and compassion. We give thanks for the mercy of kindness and forgiveness that heals separation and restores the natural state of unity for all humanity. We give thanks for the unification of all people and all worlds with one united prayer for joy, peace, and happiness. We give thanks to the light of mercy that enters every human heart, which connects and unites all cultures in acceptance, benevolence, and compassion. We give thanks for all sentient beings to bear witness of the unification of all life in love, respect, communion, and reverence. We give thanks for quality of life, health, beauty, fortune, comfort, warmth, and abundance for all sentient beings. We give thanks for the unification of families in love, communities in common mission, countries in mutual respect, corporations in collaboration, and the world in peace. We give thanks for all life on earth to experience freedom, harmony, elegance, and beauty. We give thanks for the restoration of balance to its perfect harmony in all aspects of life. We give thanks for restoring all hearts with gratitude and benevolence. We give thanks for the installation of unconditional compassion as the moral compass for humanity. In our most sincere humbleness and devotion as an eternal disciple of life, we offer our highest gratitude to the cosmic authority for protecting all humanity, all living beings, and for providing us with abundance of resources to live in peace, mutual respect, and supreme harmony. On behalf of all lives, all living beings, and all things, we hereby declare our intention to always share the abundance of resources, to respect each other, to share burdens, to inspire, empower, support, and love each other for the highest good of all. We now send our collective gratitude to the cosmic heart and thank you for giving us the clarity of your guidance. Divine cosmic authority of all that is, we thank your infinite light for giving us infinite radiance. Divine cosmic authority of all that is, we thank your infinite light for giving us infinite radiance. Divine cosmic authority of all that is, we thank your infinite light for giving us infinite radiance. So it is done, and so it is.
Beautiful, beautiful and very powerful message of thankfulness. And I believe Master Blinding Truth picked one very, very important color of consciousness. We can color our consciousness with thankfulness, and in this way deeply connect to the source. And if we are thankful for what we got and what we will get, then we might get even more. So thank you very much, Master Blinding Truth, for this contribution, and Michael for arranging this very powerful message. So originally we thought, and this was a plan, that Master Blinding Truth will also give us an insight into future signals from the future, from the I Ching, but he decided to do in this way, and we respect this. So therefore we have, but we also have invited Christian Halper here, who is originally a very successful entrepreneur who created a very large international company before deciding to become, I think, in his own spiritual development, to leave the sector and to promote things which he really believes they are important for the development of our planet. And one of the things, and he is very active in it, and he's an investor in many important fields for the development. One of the fields is he is very active as I would say, as a vegetarian, as an owner of vegetarian restaurants and bistros, especially now in Austria and Germany. But his plan is to connect a very healthy way of living, in a vegetarian way, with the experience of joy and pleasure, to show the people that vegetarian food can be very, very pleasurable and not only healthy, but also very enjoyable. So today, Christian, there are so many things we could talk about, but we would like to focus on this another aspect of your personality. You are an astrologer in the Western astrology, and you always share with us your views. So we are very interested to see what is the quality of the time we're living in and which is unfolding in the next year according to your view.
Thank you very much, Marcus. It's a pleasure to be here and participate on this event. And when we look at the astrology and look at the long-term cycles, which are really interesting now, because just today in the evening, we will have a conjunction of two important planets, Jupiter and Saturn. And those two planets have a conjunction only every 20 years. And in the last 200 years, except in 1980, those conjunctions were always in Earth signs. So that means Taurus, then Virgo and Capricorn. So that means we come from a cycle of 200 years, very much focused on solid things and things you can grab and touch and so on. And from now on, in the next about 200 years, those conjunctions of Jupiter and Saturn, they will only be in the air signs, starting with Aquarius today, and then again just air signs, which means Libra and also Gemini. And air stands for communication and for intellect, and for it's much faster to change the air. So it's changing faster. And so that means all the society that is built on more solid structures will change into more fluctuating, more communication-driven, more network-driven solutions. And that's a really big change. You can imagine 200 years and now another 200 years. So this change is also dramatic in terms of this conjunction is in Aquarius. And Aquarius stands for an update, so to speak. It stands for the need for development. So we cannot just continue the way we do it now, because some of our systems, some of our rules, some of our habits just don't fit anymore in the current time. And if we stick to them, we will suffer, and therefore we need an update. Like I had in the beginning of this call, I had a problem with my sound, and it didn't work. And what was the solution? I made an update of the browser, and that was the final solution for this simple problem. And the same thing happens in the world. We really need to change now. We cannot continue the way we did in the past. So what will happen? Some systems that we used to trust and used to rely on, they will not work anymore, and we have to search for alternative solutions. We have to search for innovations. And sometimes the innovations are already there. We just need to open our eyes. So we need to be open for new innovations, for new ways. And what could that mean in our personal life? For example, sometimes people are scared if old things that they trusted don't work anymore. But the solution is look into your own life, but take responsibility for your own life and ask yourself the question, which habits do I have? Which rules do I follow that don't fit anymore? And then change them. For example, ask yourself the question, which systems do I serve that maybe are not full of love or full of what I need? And then either change the systems or leave the systems and ask yourself the question, okay, what are the systems that are full of love that I want to serve? Because at the end, love is always the winner. So why not choose it right away? So when we build new systems to substitute the old systems, it's important to build systems that serve us, that serves humanity, that serves the planet, that serves the animals, that are full of love and love-driven. And what could that mean? For example, think about what you eat every day. So we have a choice, like if you eat 3 times a day, what do we eat? And your choice has some consequences. And where does your food come from? And what is involved? Is there some violence involved? Or what type of food are you eating? So I think one of the trends that we'll also see is, as Marcus told, I'm also engaged in this topic. I think we will see a growth in vegetarian and vegan food because it's less resource intensive for the planet. It's less suffering for the animals. And if it's done the right way, it's also very, very healthy. And talking about health, health is also an issue. Don't just trust some other authorities that tell you in the past, you should just take this and that, but also take responsibility of your health by yourself, by eating healthy, by doing exercises, by also looking for alternatives way to support your health. So in many, many areas of life, we can start to take responsibility. We can start to think for yourself, not just blindly trust everybody, but just think and question. It's an air sign, so it's about intellect. So we are called to use our mind and to use our brain and to question things and find good solutions. So altogether, this can be a difficult time if we stick to old habits, old rules, old structures, but it brings also a lot of opportunities, especially with Jupiter in the sign Aquarius. It will bring a lot of opportunity and growth opportunity for our own development, and also for developing new systems. So when the change is going on, it's difficult for the old, but it's also a big chance for the new. And Saturn in the next 2 years and 2 months will be in Capricorn, in Aquarius. And that means that there will also be the demand for new structures, and new structures will be built. So if you have fun building new structures, it's a great time to create. And don't forget, we are all creators in our life, and together we create our society and we create our future. So the future will be what we create. And now we are called for start with the creations we want to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. This is very encouraging, and we are looking forward to this new quality, which is starting right now. It fits very well, and yeah, let's be carried by this new positive energy. Christian, we are also doing Time Weather together, and this Global Consciousness Day is is connected to a series of events which are taking place since 2007. 2007, I'm just thinking, no, 2013, 7 years. 2013, on 1st of December, we did the first global earth healing optimization, where we put together time weather systems from all over the world, and they used the systems to send a positive impact into the global consciousness field. And it's not the time to talk now about it too much, but also today at 12 o'clock at European Central Time, all the time weather users will come together and also use their information field technology to benefit the global consciousness field. So this needs to be mentioned also, so we get some support from this side. Thank you very much, Christian. And I have seen in between that Lama Tendar was showing up. Michael, what's the situation in Australia? Michael, you're muted.
Yes, looks like there's some issues with him connecting at this moment, but he was sort of trying to connect, and it ended up being a bit of an interruption for Christian, unfortunately. So,
oh, no problem.
The audio was sort of clashing, so we're still waiting.
Okay, so I give maybe a short introduction to Lama Tendar, who is originally comes from Tibet, where he became a monk as a very young age, and due to the circumstances in Tibet that times, he had to, risking his life, he had to go through the Himalayas to India, where he was raised and trained and did a lot of meditation. And so he's one of the very powerful representatives of this ancient Tibetan Buddhist traditions. And he's one of, I have seen myself a beautiful video where he's a chanting master of the Dalai Lama. And he's very specialized on this wonderful chanting of the mantras which the Tibetan Buddhist tradition is offering, and he's using this technique also for healing purpose, which is a very, very interesting application. So I hope we will have him here with us today. So what's the news?
We only have his image and no other contact at this stage. So we do have his recorded message as well.
Yeah, it looks like Lama Tendar, he's trying. He's also situated in Australia right now, but we give it a few more seconds. Otherwise, we have especially prepared for this situation, because one never knows what happens. We have a backup of his chanting, which Lama Tendar, especially for this purpose, has created. So, Michael, shall we wait more, or shall we just play the recording of his chanting? I will give a little insight about the meaning of the chant, because he's chanting a great invocation, and there he's calling upon the names and energies of enlightened beings to bless us with strength and hence enhance our power for our own inner cultivation. He calls upon thousands of spiritually ascended masters to assist us to raise our vibration and collectively heal our Mother Earth. So the main vibration of this chant is unconditional compassion. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be blessed with happiness. And may all beings be enlightened and achieve great peace. Blessings to all and to our Mother Earth.
Yes, Marcus, it looks like the technical difficulties will force us to use the recorded version.
No problem, it's the same. Michael and Lama Tendar, are you with us?
Yes, now.
Oh, wonderful. So nice to hear your voice. Can we also see you? Can you put on your camera? Not possible? Okay, but thank you so much for this wonderful chanting and the blessing which is carried through this very deep sound, which sounds like coming from the deep roots of consciousness.
Yeah, it looks like we had some issues with the audio with everyone else. We could hear it on our speaker connections, but
it was
the
perfect.
participants didn't hear it.
It was perfect. I'm
The
sorry for
participants didn't hear it.
for the technique. I see. No problem. So we anyway reached the time. It's a little past 11. And so we announced at 11 o'clock we will start our own meditation. So, and Michael, it's up to you to guide us in the beginning and then leave us to give us a few minutes for ourselves to connect our consciousness towards each other and towards the source of all our consciousness, as Chinmay was saying, and also Professor Raag, that it looks like that all the consciousness which we express individual, it's one consciousness, it shines through us. So
indeed. Well, you can all go into your suitable positions for meditation.
Yes, so let's start our collective meditation, and I will stay with you, and the other speakers will also stay with you. So in around 20 minutes, see all of you back after our collective and individual meditation. And yes, please be there so that we can have a final word. Michael.
Okay, so just sit down, close your eyes, have your neck slightly tilted forward, bare feet touching the ground ideally. We bring our attention into our breath as a way of connecting to our energetic self, our spiritual connections. So focus on the air coming in and out through your nose. Bring your awareness to that point of attention. And as you continue to breathe, become aware that the air contains millions or billions of tiny invisible particles of etheric light we call prana or chi. Now see and feel the air and the light particles flowing into your heart with each breath, as if your heart is breathing through your lungs. At the top of your breath, make this declaration: I acknowledge, allow, and accept I am one with the infinite source of creation. I acknowledge, allow, and accept I am an infinite being of light, love, and joy. The light immediately responds to this declaration and starts vibrating at a much higher frequency of love and joy. Feel the white golden light particles like effervescent bubbles bursting and releasing the frequency of love and joy inside of your heart. See and feel your heart smiling, opening up, and sending out this joyous, loving energy to every cell in your body. Your whole body now is filled with golden light and is vibrating to the frequency of love, joy, and unity as one. You may feel your body has or is beginning to expand as if it is dissolving into the space around you, connecting you with everything. In this state of connection, we ask now you to visualize a great purple-violet ray of light coming from the center of the universe through our galaxy and into our sun, like a beam of purple light shining through all planets in our solar system to all sentient beings and into the heart of the Mother Earth. This divine ray of purple-violet light can be seen as the divine masculine electric energy of the infinite creative source of all that is. This represents the transfiguring power of the wisdom of love. It provides the geometric architecture of each dimension of reality. It transforms all that is not love by the power of infinite compassion. Now become aware of the crown chakra on top of your head, opening up like a lotus flower, opening to bloom. See the violet flame now descending into your own crown chakra. See it illuminating the inside of your head, purple light. Let this violet light cleanse and transform all your limited beliefs. Claim your awakened truth that you are a divine infinite being of wisdom, power, and love. See the violet flame clear all fearful memories that obstruct the flow of its energy as it moves down through your central channel into the open heart. Here it waits and accumulates to join with the divine goddess of love, the feminine aspect, to unify all masculine and feminine aspects in cosmic divine love. Now visualize a deep blue flame of light rapidly coming up from the heart of Mother Earth into the root chakra at the base of the spine. This is the divine feminine magnetic yin energy of the infinite creative source of all that is. It represents the creative power of love, which gives birth to all creation. Now see it flowing up your central channel into the heart. Now see and feel the blue and the violet flames of the Divine Mother Father starting to dance with each other, slow first, swirling to and fro like a slow waltz, gradually increasing the speed and becoming more and more entwined in infinite cosmic. Feel the pressure increasing in your heart, causing it to expand even further. The blue flame of primordial creative power and the purple flame of primordial light rapidly merging now, faster and faster, more and more into each other. Feel the heat and pressure rising as these two become one into a blissful united love, exploding in ultimate bliss of unconditional love as a blazing light of golden liquid plasma. Now your heart has been awakened, reborn and united into the primordial sound of creation, the golden light of the cosmic consciousness, the Holy Grail revealed, the child of pure love. Yes, it is you, This is your 12th dimensional divine I Am presence. Your spark of infinite being has been revealed to you. You are the highest expression of unconditional love. All power and authority is given to you to express the sacred fire of the trifold flame of creation. Unite all in love, joy, and peace. To transform all that is not love into the infinite beauty and blissfulness of oneness with the source of all that is. Let it transform all that is holding you back from merging into this new quantum reality of love, joy, and peace right now. Now see the violet, blue, and golden tri-flame of wisdom, power, and love expanding out of your heart. Expand it out into all your loved ones and friends. Expand it out to those that are suffering and in need of help. Expand it out to all those in positions of power, so they may be in alignment with Mother Earth and govern with wisdom, compassion, and truth. Now send forth the sacred tri-flame of creation down your central channel, down into the heart of Mother Earth. Then see it expanding out to encompass the entire. See the fifth dimensional Lady Gaia standing in all her glory, shining out fivefold flame of love, wisdom, and power, transforming all sentient beings that live upon her into a new fifth dimensional reality of loving unity, respect, and acceptance of all life. And so it is written, and so it is done, across all time, all space, all dimensions, and all realities. In the name of the infinite creative source of all that is, it is done. In the name of the sacred Trinity flame of creation, it is done. In the name of the I Am presence, and it is done. For the highest good of all, and so it is. Now spend the rest of your time envisioning how this new earth will look and feel. Higher dimensions, dimensional realities of unity, love, joy, and peace for all. Then hold this feeling in your heart and give thanks, for this is new reality that is being created and written into the fabric of your holographic template and soul map for the highest good of all. In this way, you collectively co-create with Mother Earth a new Earth by anchoring the new cosmic vibration of unity, love, and peace as we transition into the golden age of Aquarius. Continue to hold this feeling in your heart in your own special way, directing it in method that you choose. And I will let you know when to come back so we can seal this dispensation of love to Mother Earth in gratitude for all that have participated. And so it is written, and so it is done. It is done, it is done. We give thanks and praise to the divine cosmic intelligence of all that is, for all blessings, that we may participate in this transition into a new earth, one that is based on unity, love, peace, and joy. As we continue to join with the source of love each day, holding our vision of love in our hearts and spreading that out into the world as best we can. So we give thanks for all people that have participated in this event today, to be part of a shift that has occurred in the consciousness of the planet, that has been propelled by the cosmic alignments of universal galactic and solar oceans. This will be a moment in time that will be a turning point for the highest good of all, the manifestation of a new consciousness on this planet and the evolution of all humanity. We just give thanks that we are here and so privileged to be a part of it, to witness this, and to see it unfold in our lifetime. We give thanks to all the presenters that have given up their time to share their heart, to enlighten us with concepts and ideas that help to unify all of us. So I hand it over to you, Marcus.
Thank you, Michael. I think you helped many of us to go very deep and find this place from where we can be blessed and can bless also. So I don't want to speak too much now in this moment of still experiencing the silence, because I think it's the silence, and you can use any other word for silence. You can say God or spirit, but silence is very universal. We can carry on with the silence in our busy days, which start for some of us on this planet and end for the other. Just showing how relative day and night is, light and darkness. But if we are in light somewhere or in darkness, we should always shine ourselves. Consciousness is this flame, is this shine, which comes through us, which we are, which connects us with God, with the source within. So thank you all for participating. Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Jan, and if Lama Tendar, if you're hearing us, also thank you very much. And Blinding Truths and Dr. Chinmay, who left us already. But thank all of you, and thank everyone who participated. And I'm very curious if we can see in the Global Consciousness project from Dr. Roger Nelson, who will be with us in the evening event for Europe and United States, if we will be able to again see a synchronicity in the data of the Global Consciousness Project, as we have seen it many times before doing this kind of events, which is not our goal, but would be just a nice response. So again, thank you. Maybe Jan and Christian, you like to say some words to everyone still in the end? Jan? Oh, please unmute.
Okay. Right. Do you hear me, right?
Yes.
I just want to tell you how thankful I am for this beautiful event, and I hope that we will meet more often. And I also believe that there is a big transformation going on right now. So we should be, and I'm also grateful for that, because although time to time one has a hesitation also whether it is really exactly what we were hoping for, but I'm sure that it is. So I wish you all the best in this transformation process. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Christian, do you also want to say some words?
Yes, thank you, Marcus. I believe it's important to stay with a positive attitude, especially in a time when things are changing. And so it's good to always look for the positive opportunities and positive possibilities, because if we look for them, we will find them. And sometimes they are somewhere hidden where we didn't expect them, but for sure they are there. And whenever a situation arises, that we not just look at the negative side or not just the positive side, but keep the balance and use the positive side to learn and to grow and develop ourselves. And that way we will be happy growing together in this time of changes.
Yeah, that's a very, very practical tool. Just look for the positive things. And I think the law of resonance, which is also not only in physics, but also for consciousness, will then help us to experience more good things and bring more good things to others. Again, thank everyone for this wonderful coming together and meditating together or praying together. And yes, hope to see you all soon again in a good spirit and healthy. And those who like to stay up can meet us at 6 o'clock in the evening also, but probably this will be very difficult for you in the different time zone. Maybe someone from Europe listens, so you might meet us again. Thank you, Michael, and see you soon again. Bless you.